Hey guys, so I felt the need to let you know before the video starts that if you haven't watched Hazbin Hotel, or even if you have, that this video might be triggering for some people. It is about Valentino, and by extension we will be talking about his relationship with Angel Dust. Although I have thought about making an Angel Dust video, so I will probably have to repeat this intro again. Just so you know, it might contain triggering topics or themes for some people, as I know that's a big reason some people are hesitant to watch Hazbin Hotel. Honestly, outside of episode 4, you'll probably be fine, and I just felt the need to warn you, and if you're in a position like Angel, or you just need somebody to talk to, there are resources available. First off, please access the RAINN, or the Rape, Abuse, and Insect National Network, and the National Assault Hotline, which is 24/7. Here it is right here. Thank you, and on with the video.
Oh yeah, and here I go, Valentino. Just another day with Val. Hey. My life.
Oh boy, I'm getting cancelled. Ugh, it was nice knowing y'all. Hi, I'm Kitty Monk, and I'm here to talk to you about Hazbin Hotel. Or more specifically, everybody's favorite Mothman, Valentino.
Finally!
Or Val, or V, I don't know, I guess he goes by whatever. So much like I did with Stella several years back, fun fact, Georgie Lee, how I watched my video, she told me at Level Up Expo, I wasn't planning on talking about Val, at least until I got to Angel Dust, but what spurred me on? Well, on the day I started writing this script, the Hazbin Hotel website started selling mugs for characters based on the ones they had in the show, that were usually featured as a running gag in the background of various episodes. Among these was Val's mug from the season finale, which said, "Pimpin', not simpin'."
You messed with my daughter, and now I am going to you.
Well, this just got interesting.
This made a lot of people angry, especially on places like Twitter, as it made them think it was glorifying a predator and an abuser, which really surprised me. I figured if they would be mad at anything, it would be at how much it cost. I mean, $20 for a mug? Normally for me, they're like 10. But this got me thinking, why do some people quote-unquote simp for Val? Or why are some people angry that people like Val, without having to clarify what they mean by that? And is it okay to like a character like him? Now, you guys know me, and you know how I enjoy taking a middle ground approach, not because I'm in favor of neutrality or silence is violence, but because I feel like both sides have something to contribute, and there's normally not an end-all flat solution. So let me just come out and say it. Yes, I like Valentino. Yes, I'm a feminist. But yes, I like Valentino. Now is when you get the chance to boo me or say I'm a furry. Boo! Okay, did you get that all out of your system? Okay, so we're good now. So yes, I like Valentino as a character. I like his design, especially his wings and how they sorta wrap around him. Heck, as a cosplayer, he's probably the easiest out of all of Busy Pop's creations to dress as. Well, next to Charlie, of course. All you need is a red coat and a red hat, or a black dress and a red cape in certain cases. And many of his jokes do indeed make me laugh, especially the moth squeaks, because I love when the Hazbin characters act like their animal sides.
See? Look at how he flirts with that guy, and he's not even paying! Who is that? I'm gonna kill this whole family!
But, that doesn't mean I idolize him, or look up to him, or wanna be him. I hate him for being an abusive rapist, a rapist in general, a pimp. I hate people like him in real life, except Butters, and I don't glorify him, and I'm waiting for the day he's gonna be on the other end of an exorcist blade. If you ship him with Angel Dust, you're disgusting, and I have no excuse for you, I'm sorry. But for me, I like to think about it like the Joker and Harley Quinn, another pairing that is often glorified by fans, when that's not the point. And while I am of the opinion that minors probably shouldn't be dressing like Hazbin characters, why is it okay for them to dress as Joker and Harley, when that's not the point? True, I guess it can come off a bit hypocritical for me. I did dress up as Angel does for Fan Expo Philly, and on top of that, I also wore handcuffs, not unlike the restraints that Valentino uses for Angel. And honestly, I bought them at one of those stores where you gotta show your ID when I was in Vegas for Level Up Expo, and the cashier saw Hazbin and she wanted to watch my videos. But I saw it in the sense of reclaiming cosplay, because now there's a huge movement to reclaim cosplay. Like, I choose to wear this outfit. This outfit gives me confidence. Angel's a strong character. I'm not trying to mock him or people in his position. He gives me the confidence to dress in a fantastic way, in ways that normally I cover everything up, and people make fun of me regardless of what I wear. Plus, as Angel said, BDSM is all about trust, aftercare, consent, and clear communication. And I guess you can headcanon it as it's probably the only time people care about him as a person, because with that, you're supposed to treat them like an individual. But tangent aside, who is Valentino and why do people hate or like him? And why is there this whole discussion? Well, let's discuss. In Hazbin Hotel, Angel Dust is a adult entertainer and a drag queen. Although outside of the Poison song, we didn't really see him do the last one, which makes me sad. I guess maybe they didn't have time or they were worried about unfortunate implications, but still. As we established with Alistair and Serpentius, the center-dominated Pride Ring is run by overlords who control various territories and or businesses. With Valentino, it's the adult entertainment industry and all the gross, nasty stuff that comes with it. And as we established with Alistair, the main way overlords stay in power is by having sinners sign over their souls to them, so they own them the same way I own my computer, or you own your cell phone. Valentino is both Angel's overlord and his boss. We first learned about Valentino during the Attic music video, which came out sometime after the pilot, where we saw that Angel did sort of dislike living under Val. Well, dislike would be an understatement. Not only does he have to perform for a sick benefit, but Valentino uses him in any manner of ways, especially for pleasure, and it's left Angel with tons of emotional and mental scars. Heck, in a comic that's soft canon, honestly most of it's been retconned at this point, he made Angel go offer himself on the street, like after the extermination, when the angels were still out and there's a high chance he could potentially be killed, simply so Angie could make up the money he was meant to give him for a job. And one of the reasons Angel drinks and drugs to excess is to escape the abuse he's been under.
And maybe, if I can ruin myself enough in the process, I won't be his favorite toy anymore. And maybe he'll let me go.
To say that Hazbin Hotel fans weren't waiting years to see Valentino get torn to shreds is once again an understatement. But off topic, I do kinda like the detail of him and Cherry Bomb during Addict. Well, not exactly like, you know what I mean. I suppose after Valentino did something to Angel, something I can't say, we see him crying in his room while Cherry Bomb is trying to comfort him, even if it's just her putting a hand on his shoulder while he sobs. Imagine how horrible it must be for her, and why it's just that. She probably wants to help Angel or do more than just watch him break down, but she can't because if she does anything more than lightly touch him, think try to hug him maybe, it could potentially trigger him. But I wonder, was this the solid that Angie said he owed her in the pilot? We first meet Valentino in episode 2, when he learns that Angel Dust, get this, bear with me, moved out.
Angel quit?
It's worse. He moved! He thinks he can just walk in here, work, and then go home somewhere else.
I know, it's terrible. Poor Val. To this end, Valentino has gone on a warpath, screaming at his not fizzy to get him drinks that he constantly smashes rather than actually drinks, and tears up Velvet's models while she's trying to put on a fashion show.
Damn it, Valentino!
True, this is hell, and as Velvet says, he's not using a holy weapon, so the model could just pull herself back together or regenerate, but this doesn't paint the best picture of Valentino. Also, you know how Val constantly constantly changes his accent.
Chalky or Chandler, or I don't know, something mannish like that. She's got this hotel, and which of these makes me look sexier?
Well, apparently somebody asked Joel Perez about this at Level Up Expo, or rather, I overheard somebody while I was waiting behind them in line, and Joel said that when he gets angry, because he's bilingual, he has a tendency to slip, either changing his accent or his language. So you know, like this line?
Can you believe what that piece of shit did? The ungrateful
Well, he told Busy Pop about it after he did it, and that impressed her, so she made it a part of Valentino's character. So if you want to know why Valentino's voice changes and he doesn't seem to have a consistent accent, that's probably why. For moving out, Valentino wants to go shoot up the hotel to get Angel back. And keep in mind that the patrons include Charlie and Alistair, and he knows that. He knows that Charlie is the princess of hell and Alistair killed people like him. But Vox talks him out of it because 1, Val is likely gonna end up like a fly on the dashboard of a car, what you thought I meant Moff, or if he's left alive somehow, it'll ruin the image of their brand. So Valentino reluctantly lets Angel go, in the sense of, yeah, he's still gotta come to work, but he can live somewhere else.
So, you should...
do nothing?
Great idea! Now that's why they pay you the big bucks.
But he has other ideas. After a hard day at the hotel, Angel goes back to his room, where he sees the dozens of voicemails that Valentino left him, which, like that fan from Paranormal Activity 3, oscillates between wishing Angel would come home with little hearts and telling him if he doesn't come home, he will die. The ungrateful. Joel does it better, I can.
Hey, amorcito, I didn't mean to yell, but you know how crazy you make me. You Hey, Angie, about earlier.
Love bombing. Angel starts scrolling until he gets a final one, or I guess maybe it's Angel's inner voice or something, saying,
You actually think you can change? Attic trash like you doesn't change. I'll see you soon, baby.
If it makes you feel any better, a fan edited that scene to be like Steve's answering machine from Da Flippity Flop from American Dad.
Hi, calling for Stephen Smith. Hello, Steve. This is the girl that you like.
In Masquerade, we see just how terrible of a boss Valentino really is. At the start, Angel is doing another one of his films, and hey, Val is kind of funny. He's just joking around, they're all having fun. Angel even talks back to him once, and talks to his co-stars.
Do you really expect me to memorize this whole script?
Just improv it. Do you think anyone watches for the dialogue?
I will not answer that. But because Charlie wants to help Angel get time off for the hotel, she comes to the studio to talk to Val. Angel warns Charlie to scram before Valentino sees her, but Val does see her, and he greets her.
What can I do for such a...
No, thank you.
lovely specimen?
Ew, get a mop. Val tries to sweet-talk Charlie, but it doesn't work. She tries to politely ask him to let Angel have some time off.
I have come to aggressively kindly speak with you about Angel. Later, of course. I wouldn't want to stand in the way of your work.
Charlie, no offense, you're supposed to be the princess of hell, and you're supposed to go wherever you please. You aren't supposed to take crap from other demons. Did your daddy teach you nothing? Come on, he's so good at daddying. Instead of that, you should have said, Valentino, as the princess of hell, I order you to let Angel Dust have mornings off. I order you to let Angel Dust have mornings off. To stay on Charlie's good side, and likely also as a power play, think about it like, look, I can order him to do whatever I want. Val allows her to watch them gather B-roll, and because Charlie is Charlie and has some notes, she trips over a wire and sets fire to the whole set.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. I can clean this up. I can.
Don't you worry your pretty blonde head about it. We have people for that.
Don't feel bad, Charlie. One time I wrecked a smartboard because I got really nervous during an AP Lit project, and then it's like I broke the wire. I think they replaced it though. As you can imagine, Valentino is pissed, and he goes into the back room to be trigger warning.
Ooh, I'm sorry. Were we too loud?
Not at all, princess.
It doesn't bother me one bit.
To be fair, oh my god, you might hate me for this. I do understand Val's frustrations, I guess you can say, in a sense, even if I don't condone his actions or why he's doing them. Yes, I know he's only doing this because he thinks Angel wants out, which is not the case, and yes, Charlie was going of her own accord. She wasn't trying to get Angel free from his contract because she probably has no idea he even has a contract, but she was being disruptive, talking really loud, which honestly is something I'm dealing with right now as I record this video, interrupting a shoot, and caused fire to it on top of that. As a former film student, yeah, that annoyed the heck out of me. Valentino unleashes his fury on Angel.
You know she can't do anything. I own you.
Or have you forgotten that?
No.
The boss is on a roll, you poor unfortunate soul. Sorry, the reference was screaming to be heard. Valentino tells Angel to make Charlie leave, and tells Angel he'll be working all night to make up the difference.
Now, you're gonna go get rid of her, and then you're filming all night. Get me?
Yes, Val.
Robbing him of sleep? That's what cults do. Charlie, perhaps either hearing some of the conversation, seeing the black eye, and or even the way he threw Angel onto the bed, is about to unleash her own fury. But Angel, having been too broken down by the abuse to realize Charlie is trying to help him, and has a decent chance of actually succeeding, tells her to leave.
What makes you think you can treat him like that?
Charlie, just stop.
Angel, what are you talking about?
Charlie, leave.
But
And throughout that whole night, he uses Angel multiple times in ways that terrify the viewer. So yeah, this doesn't paint the best picture of Valentino. Heck, we see in Welcome to Heaven that Valentino has been worse to Angel Dust ever since Masquerade. Likely out of spite, he forces him to partake in much longer shoots with literal waterboarding.
Yeah, what happened to you?
It's who happened to me. And the answer is everyone. Twice. Val had me working 16 hours straight.
Which, even if this is hell and it's probably as annoying as when shampoo gets in your eye, it's still literal torture. Remember, before Charlie was there, everything was tame, which it probably still sucked for Angel, but it was something he could still get through. And when she left, he forced Angel to partake in even worse shoots with worse guys, and all night in much more humiliating conditions. But anyhow, in Welcome to Heaven, Angie has gone out with Cherry and the hotel gang while Charlie and Vaggie are in heaven. And during that time, Nifty gets super duper drunk because she's both super small and likely doesn't drink as regularly as everybody else. And in her pursuit of bad boys, she ends up going to Val, who has been hanging out at the club looking for fresh meat. You know, I feel bad because, like, I'm Spanish and I can't do a good Spanish accent. Are there any tips you guys can give me?
Who's this chiquita? Oi!
I just want to taste.
Weird, but there's a kink for that, I'm sure.
I like how even he is unnerved with her, but he just thinks about it in terms of business. He's the mammon of adult entertainment. Angel tries to tell Val to cool it, and when Valentino pulls out the "Oh, I own you" card, Angel retorts,
You do. In the studio. And you can do anything you want to me there. Just like our deal says. But out here, I get to do what I want.
"Oh, that's why you made him work all night with super long shoots, then got angry when he moved out. You little control freak, you." Val promises that Angel will pay at work, but Angel doesn't care because at least he finally stood up to Valentino in a public place and got away with it.
Oh, what the for my collection. What up, guys?
Okay, so yeah, for now, that was Valentino. A total a-hole, a serial rapist, a philandering hedonist, a temperamental brat, somebody who probably actually deserves to be in hell or exterminated. So with all these traits considered, you have to wonder, why do people like Val? Well, I think I know why. First off, Valentino is a very attractive man, which I know people complained because Valentino's evil, but in real life, most abusers don't look like abusers. I hate to break it to you. Jeff Jeff is just a cartoon straw man. There's a reason why nobody likes him. And yeah, it's also true that Angel's attractive as well, which I think makes Angel and Valentino all the more perverted. On the offside, they seem like the ultimate escape fantasy. Behind that, well, the only good thing he ever did for Angel Dust was give him fat nuggets, which honestly, even that you could just say is him love bombing or trying to control Angel.
Sorry. Not now, fat nuggets.
Second, Valentino is pretty charismatic, which again is another tool of abusers, but for a character, it works well in their favor, especially for a villain. And finally, Valentino is irredeemably evil. In the 2010s, we got spoiled with lots of villains who either had sad stories that explained their actions and made them sympathetic or hilarious, or who started off evil and then got redeemed, or did something good that changed them in the face of the fandom. So yeah, Valentino's kind of like a breath of fresh air. Sometimes it's good to just have a villain we're meant to hate. I mean, that's why everybody liked Mammon. That's why people like many of the classic Disney villains, and why they hated how they tried to give Cruella and Maleficent their own sympathetic backstories. And no, if a villain has a point, that doesn't make them sympathetic. That just makes them written well. Or bad, depending on how it's presented. Toby had a point and he was still badly written. Or why people like Chucky. I mean, I've seen people cosplay as Valentino and I've seen them be told, no, you're not supposed to wear that, or been harassed for wearing it. But when I was 14, I cosplayed as Chucky in just a dress. So should I have not worn that? However, while we're talking about writing problems, let's discuss a couple of flaws. As one of my rules for a script is, I have to point out at least one flaw, and it helps my credibility to show I'm not wiping away all of Valentino's mistakes. To be fair, I do think it is fair to critique Valentino for other reasons, because he's inconsistent between episode 2 and 4, like they didn't really figure out his character or how to present it, and at times he feels pretty one-dimensional, and probably the least developed out of all of the V's, especially compared to Vox, who has his little beef with Alistair, and Velvet, who is perceptive enough to troll the other overlords to get the information she needs. Heck, he's the only one of the V's who never gets a song. Rather, he has a song sung about him, that being Poison. Outside of a couple of lines in the finale, you probably don't need a Broadway actor to play him. But while we're on the subject of Velvet, there's one subject I wish the show focused more on, since it makes episode 4 all the more worse. And if we're talking about glorifying villains, then there's a double standard in effect, because people are 100% glorifying her. In episode 2, Vox finds out that Alistair is shacking up with Charlie, and begins to get paranoid that a deal will be struck between them. He summons the other V's for a meeting, and Valentino brings up the idea that to prevent a deal, they should put something inside them, because that's how he gets his workers to behave.
How exactly are we supposed to stop it?
Put something inside them. That's how I get to behave.
Now, when I first watched that scene, which was the night the episode premiered, I thought he meant himself, because this is Valentino, and he's done it plenty of times to Angel Dust. But as we saw in Masquerade and Addict, Valentino has the ability to intoxicate people with his pheromones, which is a tactic of abusers to keep their victims in control. Like when Angel was going to talk back to him during Poison, he sprays something in his face that just, makes him almost pass out. Or when he does seem sad in Attic, Valentino blows smoke towards him, and then that makes them all, happy again. Throughout the background of multiple episodes, we see posters advertising Love Potion by Velvet, with her and Valentino, the type of love potions that Asmodeus doesn't approve of. Heck, in Masquerade, Angel almost gets roofied by a guy who pours something in his drink, awfully similar to what Valentino blows in Angel's face.
Here you go, darling.
Just for you.
And not to mention, VisiPop has said that Velvet is good at making potions, meaning she basically took Valentino's saliva and turned it into a ruby potion, which she mass produces and sells to hell like perfume. So if you don't like Valentino for these reasons and think people shouldn't enjoy his character or cosplay as him, you probably should add Velvet to that list, because she's just as bad as him, or even Vox, because he knows that Valentino abuses Angel, if not the rest of his employees, and he doesn't do anything to help him.
I really wanted to shoot someone.
Well, let me call up the lowest earners this month.
Oh, you know me too well.
And again, Velvet just doesn't care either. Or, while we're on the subject of horrible sins, meaning we can't cosplay as them, maybe we shouldn't cosplay as Adam, or Lute, or Sarah, or Vaggie, or even Lucifer, because they were agents of genocide. Yes, even Vaggie and even Lucifer. He just sat by and let it happen. Until 3 years ago, Vaggie was killing people too. The only good thing Lucifer did was say they can only kill sinners. Or maybe we can't do Stolas because him and Blitz? Well, that's awfully similar to him and Angel, just with more jokes. Or maybe we can't do Alistair because he's killed countless overlords and he's an unforgiving cannibal. But I guess he's okay because he's mysterious. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I actually do like all these characters, and if you want to cosplay as them, I won't think bad of you. But I think I know another reason people hate him. As you guys know, I enjoy writing, especially fan fictions, and some of the most fun yet challenging characters to write for are villains. When people ask me, oh, what kind of an anti-hero do I write for that does bad things, but I want the audience to root for, think usually either the two most extremes of murderer or rapist, always choose the murderer. With a murderer, there are 100 million reasons somebody might have done it that the audience might be willing to look past or ignore, like it was an accident or they were forced to. With rape, it's normally no accident, and unlike murder, there never is a good reason to do it, regardless of gender. The only time I've ever seen it work, like a sympathetic rapist character, was in Game of Thrones, and that's only because of how the narration style works in the books. Granted, I do find a difference, like if the writers didn't think of the implications of something supernatural, like in Vampire Diaries, where Ian Somerhalder has pretty good acting, even though he does horrible stuff to Carolyn. But I want to pose a question to you, because I have been kind of posing it throughout the video. Do you like the Joker? Well, probably yes. He's one of the greatest characters in all of comic book history. Do you have merchandise of him? You probably do. Heck, I used to have a travel cup of him laughing from that slide in The Killing Joke. And until somebody spilled it in chemistry class, I took it everywhere. Heck, I've seen countless couples cosplays of him and Harley, even if in every single canon, including David Ayer, the Joker ruined Harley's life, and they're in an abusive, one-sided relationship. Heck, have you cosplayed as the Joker? I mean, I have. When I was in high school, I dressed up as the Joker during 2016. And why do you do it? Because he's cool? He probably is to you. I mean, he is to me. He's one of my favorite characters. But why is it okay to like the Joker and not like Val? Is it because the Joker is a more fantastical character, whereas Valentino is closer to somebody we could encounter in real life, which makes him all the more scarier? I mean, I guess, but you could make the same argument about Adam, or to some degree even Lute, especially this scene here where she describes Charlie and Vaggie as,
their love is vile and blasphemous.
Hot as f***, though.
All I'm saying is, arguably the Joker has done worse than Valentino. And no offense guys, that includes assault. Yes, the Joker has assaulted Barbara Gordon in The Killing Joke. Whether he put his handkerchief in her pocket, it's a huge debate, but he still stripped her down when she was unable to fight back and took pictures of her in order to traumatize her father. And since I brought up Chucky before, well, he's killed people, including children. He wanted to take over the world. Oh, and he and his wife also impregnated Jennifer Tilly against her will, which counts as medical rape, just so she could give birth to twins, and then they could take the soul from their child and put that into the babies. So yeah, that's bad too, but I've seen people cosplay as Chucky, including kids. Heck, if we're talking about this fandom in terms of bad, evil, irredeemable characters, Alistair's right there. And this is coming from somebody who actually does like Alistair. Yes, this might be controversial, but I will die on this hill. Alistair is a worse abuser than Valentino. As in, he does a better job at it, but he's a worse person and he's fooled an entire fandom. His abuse is behind closed doors, whereas with Val, yeah, he does do it where nobody can see, but it's pretty much an open secret that he abuses Angel. True, Husk is more like an indentured servant, but a slave is still a slave. Heck, Angel has an easier way to get out of his contract than Husk. Angel has a wide support network, he's just too broken down by the abuse to know those people can help him. And all of his friends hate Valentino and knows what he does to him. Heck, Valentino gave him loopholes, even if probably unknowingly, like he can only order Angel around while he's at work. Husk has no way out. Charlie likely isn't going to go against Alistair because she needs his services, and Alistair manipulated her to see him as a grateful ally and a father figure. Plus, she probably doesn't know that he owns Husk. She probably just thinks it's like a friend doing a job he doesn't like. And on top of that, all of his friends, including Angel, are friends with Alistair, or they begrudgingly agree with him, or they're less powerful than him. So yeah. However, before I end the video, I just want to clarify a few things. If you don't like Valentino, that's okay. If you do, that's okay too. But please don't ship him with Angel Dust, guys. Angel is his victim. That's a huge line you don't cross. And even if you don't like his actions, please do not harass his voice actor, Joel Perez. By all accounts, he's a total sweetheart who is nothing like Valentino. At the end of the day, he's just an actor playing a role and going to work. I mean, the actors for Joffrey or the High Evolutionary or Cersei are apparently huge sweethearts in real life and nothing like the characters. And they've been pretty open about that, and yet they still get abuse from people. Like, the actor who played Joffrey actually stopped acting for a while because people kept hounding him. Heck, I met Joel Perez at Level Up Expo, and he was probably one of my favorite interactions there. He took the time to talk to everybody who came in his line. He just talked to you long enough to sign stuff or take selfies. And when he got to me and I told him about how I turned my Fat Nuggets plush into Fug Nuggets because he had a pen mark by his eye, I joked, oh, he was super nervous about meeting you today because he loves meeting new celebrities. So he just patted Fat Nuggets on the head and said, well, it's nice to meet you, which I thought was the cutest thing. But I guess the harassment thing goes for all voice actors. If you don't like the characters they play, don't harass them on that merit. And as for Hazbin, apparently Michael Kovich can no longer do Angel's voice, so please don't request him to do any of that. Amir Talay has says he doesn't want fan requests for Alistair either, which, considering he's playing Alistair, is totally understandable. Blake Roman, I kind of got that feeling when I was at Level Up Expo. I think it's pretty similar. And Christina V, who voices Veronica, says she's uncomfortable cursing in character because she's nothing like Veronica in real life, and actually super duper shy. I hope this video cleared some things up. If not, I hope you continue to enjoy adult cartoons. If you want to buy a mug based on Valentino, you're not a bad person or supporting human trafficking, you're just a fan who likes the show. And there's nothing wrong with that. Anyhow, bye!